Hi, my name is William Calo, and I'm pleased to present about our study, Disparities and Reverse Disparities in HPV Vaccination, a systematic review and meta-analysis. Every year, over 45,000 new cases of HPV-associated cancers are diagnosed among women and men in the United States, and we know large racial and ethnic disparities exist in some HPV cancers. For example, Black and Hispanic women had higher rates of HPV-associated cervical cancer than women of other races and non-Hispanic women. However, studies disagree about whether racial and ethnic groups have lower or higher HPV vaccination rates, an important issue given large disparities in some cancers. The objective of this systematic review and meta-analysis was to characterize and explain racial and ethnic differences in HPV vaccination. To do this, we searched 4 databases to identify studies published between January 2006 and July 2017. Our search strategy used a combination of terms related to HPV vaccine, uptake, and race ethnicity, with small variations as required by each database. Eligible studies were those that used data from a US sample to report HPV vaccination rates in males, females, or both, with at least one comparison between a racial or ethnic minority and white study participants. 2 reviewers independently extracted effect sizes describing the association between race and ethnicity, with number 1, HPV vaccine initiation, defined as individuals with at least 1 dose out of all eligible individuals, and second, follow-through, defined as individual with all recommended doses among individuals with at least 1 dose. We use random effect meta-analysis to synthesize effect sizes for comparisons of whites or non-Hispanics to Black, Hispanics, Asians, or all minority groups combined. Of over 8,000 records, we identify 118 studies met inclusion criteria, and these studies reported vaccination data for almost 3.1 million adolescents and young adults. Overall, 41% of studies included a national sample and 41% used probability sample to identify participants. Response rate information was missing in 32% of these studies. 58% of studies used self-reported HPV vaccination data, with the remaining studies using clinic vaccination records, insurance claims, or data from an immunization registry. Overall, studies show no racial or ethnic differences in HPV vaccine initiation. However, when restricted to studies using provider-verified vaccination data, minorities were 6.1% more likely than whites to initiate HPV vaccination, and disadvantages were larger for Hispanics. Self-reported data show the opposite, an overall disparity among all minority groups. On the other hand, minorities were 8.6% less likely than whites to follow through with the full HPV vaccine series, a disparity present for both Blacks and Hispanics, regardless vaccine data was reported or provider verified. In conclusion, high-quality studies, those using provider verified data, found that racial and ethnic minorities are more likely to initiate but less likely to follow through with HPV vaccination. The finding of higher HPV vaccine initiation among minorities is both promising and unique, and suggests potential reductions in HPV cancer disparities. Finally, I would like to highlight that the US is facing a significant vaccination gap, especially for adolescents. So we don't know yet how the pandemic has affected the vaccine uptake for diverse populations. We thank you for your time attending this panel, and I hope you read our full paper.